Hello, everybody. We're back again. We got Ethan.
What's up, fellas?
Got Jason.
Yep. Dan wants to talk about the Chupacabra.
Yeah, so there's a Chupacabra out there, and it's going to get you. No, so I came across a video. It was more explaining that whole phenomenon that happened, I guess, in the mid-1990s. Was when the first sightings of a Chupacabra happened. I always thought it was just like a mangy dog or whatever. Like, that's what you see all the time. You see the pictures. Like,
That dude what was the guy's name that did that video?
Bob Gimlin.
Yeah, he was real pissed about mangy dogs in that video.
Yeah.
He was the most passionate guy. He was not a mangy dog.
Yeah.
You know that? They're lying to you.
They're lying just to try to get likes on,
Yeah.
pictures or whatever.
So what is it?
So yeah, I mean, I always kind of just disregarded that whole thing because it was stupid. It's like obviously a mangy coyote or something. You know what I mean? Like that is not a picture of anything other than a dog or a coyote or whatever. But I didn't really know where the original story came from. So, what was it? Puerto Rico?
Yeah, Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So mid 1990s, a farmer comes out of his house and I think it was his goats.
Yeah.
There's 10 of them dead or something. And there wasn't any commotion. There wasn't any, nothing made any noises, nothing. And so he walks up and they all have holes in their chest, three puncture holes around the chest and neck area. And they're all dead. And so
all the goats weren't dead.
Not
There
all the
was,
goats. Yeah, so
9 of them or whatever.
Right. So yeah, 9 of them died, and the rest of the flock was huddled over in a corner. They didn't make any noises though. That was the weird part that he thought, because he's like, I mean, these things go nuts when anything comes around.
And his point was he said in Puerto Rico, obviously it's an island, and there's nothing on that island that could kill a goat. He went through all the different species on it. He was like, there's not wolves, there's not coyotes, there's no predator for a goat. So
right, yeah. He went over things that people had brought on ships that are now a part of the ecosystem there. You know what I'm saying?
Monkeys got out of some laboratories, but there's
nothing there that's big enough or should be, except for wild dogs or something. But if a pack of wild dogs gets in with some sheep, you're going to hear that happening. There's no way that you're not going to hear dogs going nuts.
And they're not just going to do 3 puncture wounds and kill. They're going to rip things apart.
And dogs get psyched
Puerto
up,
Rico.
when they attack something. So anyways, that happens. The guy doesn't even, I don't think he even reports it until later.
Because
he was like, I mean, I don't know, it's just one account. This is weird. Thought it was weird, but didn't, what do you do with it? So then it started happening, multiple accounts, right? So it's a very similar situation. You checking your breath?
Yeah, something smells over here. I think it's the fucking mic.
That's the
Did you
one
sneeze on this?
Yeah,
Did you sneeze on this thing?
I probably did, yeah.
It smells like a sneeze. Don't your sneezes stink?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, some sinus infection or something.
What the fuck are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
I've never
You never
smelled
had a bad
someone
sneeze?
or thought my sneeze.
Everybody that I know that knows me is like, they know me for my sneezes
I
smelling
have a
like shit.
very sensitive.
It's gotta be a Scott thing.
I have
Yeah,
a
it has
very
to be.
sensitive sense of smell. Like if you
You've
sneeze,
you've never, it's not all the time. Not all my sneezes smell like shit,
I'd say 55% of mine smell like shit.
but sometimes they're horrible. It makes no sense. I don't know where it's coming from.
I'll get you one here in a second. Anyways,
sounds like you got
Chupacabras.
fucking cancer or something.
Might be.
Rotten.
So back to the Chupacabras. So this starts happening. There's quite a few accounts of this now where same exact thing. The livestock's being killed. They never heard the commotion. 3 puncture wounds. Blood's kind of drained or whatever. I don't know. Where was I going with this?
That they didn't report it until there was other.
Right, until some more started stacking up. Then reports started coming in like crazy about it. And some people, I think, even said they saw something.
Yeah.
So
There was one lady that said that she saw it, like it had climbed into her kid's window, and her kid just happened to be staying with friends that night, and it gnarled up one of its, stuffed animals, and then it left.
What's it look like?
Like
Were you getting there?
Yeah, they say that she and I guess other people that said they saw it did not report it like a mangy dog. It was like a humanoid with spikes on its head.
See, I've seen pictures. I've seen that image of
Yeah, that's what they were saying it was. So,
yeah,
anyway.
well, it definitely wasn't a mangy dog. What makes this so crazy though is the fact that it's an island. You know what I mean? It's like you said. If this was anywhere else in the world, you could be like, well, something weird traveled down from this. You know what I mean? Because people claim that they see Black Panthers around here, or and I'm not saying that they aren't, but you could make some sort of weird connection. Well, it's just some predator that got in there. But with this situation, like there's no way.
And stuff kept dying all over the island that was like, it was all exactly like that is what they were reporting. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, nothing was eating it. It was just killing these things.
Right. And it was sucking their blood?
He didn't say that.
No, I think...
And we quit lying, dude.
I thought he said something about blood being drained or something like
that.
Maybe.
I don't know. It was an hour-long video. He may have said that.
Yeah.
I know that in my head, that's what the Chupacabra does. So
maybe
I don't know
that came from... Yeah, maybe that's something I'm bringing up from just the ridiculous side of the story of the... I say ridiculous side. I'm talking about Chupacabra.
Well, and like I guess what I thought about it is at the end of it, he was talking about it. There were research labs. That's how these monkeys got on the island, and they had escaped from them. And he was like, we know that they've made, they put human lungs and organs in pigs. They've, cross bred things. And he was like, I think this was
the genetic side of this. What we know of is, like you were saying, like you can grow a lung in a pig that could eventually be put into a human, or other body parts. And they're splicing DNA, and you can look into those things. They're definitely doing this type of stuff. So his kind of look at it was, well, what are they not telling? Like, no one's stopping like this research. They're just not talking about it. Yeah. And you get a some rich guy who just wants to fuck around. Yeah. Like he can get people to start doing whatever.
I'd want to fuck around too.
Sure.
Probably not with people.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Maybe. Yeah. You get drunk.
Yeah. You drink more than one cup of whiskey.
Yeah.
So that was kind of his conclusion on what he thought it could have been, was some weird, genetically modified.
I saw
humanoid
some videos. Sort. I don't know if they're real, of like a dude doing that and created like a cat with wings, like he spliced it with a chicken.
You don't know if that was real?
I mean, it looked real. I don't know if it was. I didn't do much research. I was just like, oh, that's fucking cool.
I
moved
bet
on.
It's not real.
I don't know that he was picking the cats up and they had wings. They were like really just messed up wings. Not like full on wings where they could fly or anything. Like, but there was like bone coming out, like, and like fur on it. It was kind of weird. Huh. So there's definitely people doing it.
Yeah, I would say if not governments doing this stuff or whatever, research.
I do think that there could be another explanation for what happened there, though, because he talks about earlier on in the video, he's talking about how that mayor was running for re-election, and then he went around and led this big like
we're gonna catch the Chupacabra campaign.
And so I mean, it is possible that this dude hired some dudes to kill some stuff,
go in and do, and then
he could
get reelected.
Yeah.
Do you think the original account of it could be that, or do you think that he heard about a couple of accounts and then fabricated some other?
Yeah, I mean, it also could have been some fucking
the Chupacabra.
Yeah, could be.
Yep.
Could have been some kids fucking around.
Could be. Sure.
Yeah. My thing with stuff like that, this one, the reason that's more plausible is because, I mean, if it was something that was like in a research facility and they caught it or whatever.
Right.
But what I don't understand about things like Bigfoot is how come we never find any dead ones?
They have.
How come have you ever found a dead mountain lion?
I haven't found one, but I assume people have.
Yeah, but it's pretty rare.
And they have skeletons of them.
You ever find dead bears?
Found a dead bird once. We don't have bears around here.
Found a dead bird.
That's what I'm
once.
saying. Like when you
and we know birds aren't real.
Well, yeah, no doubt.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
I know the guy. Check us out. The guy that.
Yeah, we know. You told.
Yeah, okay.
Told us.
My bad.
Yeah,
I was telling the podcast,
and the listeners know too.
Oh, okay.
Because you said it on here.
We talked about it. Yeah, cool. We've talked about Bigfoot bones too.
Okay, so
If Caleb was here, he'd be able to educate you.
Have.
I mean, I could get into some of my theories, but I think it's very possible that they bury their dead.
So you think there's tribes of these things or not?
Yeah. Yeah, there's not just like one Bigfoot
And they're
out
just
there.
hiding.
If they exist, which I'm a firm believer that they do.
They live underground.
They could, I don't know. There's definitely like clans and like family groups and stuff like that.
Like Ewoks.
And so if they're as intelligent as I think they are, which I think they're beyond us, at least in their own realm, like at least in the wilderness, like, yeah, you'd never see them unless they wanted you to. I mean, you take a SEAL team and throw them out in just our woods and say, go find them. You won't find them.
The SEAL team?
Yeah. And you can make them, they can't leave a certain perimeter. You still won't find them.
I don't think I would.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But you don't think a SEAL team could find a Bigfoot?
I think that there's been many government
the
organizations
technology?
that have killed these things. Yes.
And why do they? What's their motivation from keeping us from knowing about it?
I'm not sure because I don't really know what they are. I don't know what Bigfoot is.
What's
A simple possibility could just be that it's incredibly scary and they don't want you to know about them because then you won't go to the national parks anymore, which is a big thing.
But all the national parks closed for COVID. They don't seem like they want us going anywhere anymore. They might as well just tell us there's fucking Bigfoots out there.
Speaking of COVID, I didn't know this, but supposedly you have to get a booster shot every 6 months too. After you get the
I think they said you
like
just gotta
it
keep
doesn't
getting
work after 6 months, but it hasn't been 6 months since we gave out this vaccine. It doesn't make no sense to me, but I thought that was pretty fucking interesting.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like come keep getting your I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not getting one. You got yours?
No. You think they're gonna make you to work?
Yeah, and to travel.
Well, yeah, I figured.
I talked to a guy that's in the military, buddy of mine, and he said that they were talking about, I don't know if this is true or not, but they were talking about having like a vaccination card, which I figured you'd have to have, and like at checkpoints in between each state, you'd have to show it to go to states. And if that's true, that just terrifies
traveling?
the fuck out of me.
I don't know that it will happen here,
Right?
Because like Florida, that guy's already been like, "Fuck that, we're not doing that."
Right?
Like they won't let. And I bet like Mississippi, and that's why I think it is a good thing in some respects that Trump lost, because if Trump was pushing that, all these southern states would be like, "Fuck yeah, we're doing it." Trump's got
Yeah.
But if Biden's pushing it, they're gonna
they're gonna go against it whether people just play whatever party. Do what their masters tell them to do.
That would be a lot of logistics to do that, because you think about how many roads go in and out of every state.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but if they did, that would be scary.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I think they're going to make it to where you can't leave the country without it.
Well, right now you have to get like a star on your ID or something
To even fly.
To fly.
Yeah. And then
by October,
I think you have to fucking provide everything but your firstborn child to get it too.
Yeah. You do. Because
Yeah,
I was going to get it when I went to DMV. And
What do they want?
Everything.
literally like every
It's like getting a damn
form
mortgage. Like they want.
is.
Yeah, they want like all these different forms: ID, birth certificate, social security card. Do they fingerprint you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
The hell?
Just to get a star.
You won't
a
be able
little
to
yellow
fly
star
without
on your
after
license.
October?
And you can't go in any government buildings, right?
Oh, is that
Part of it,
right?
too?
I think that might be right. I don't know. I read about it a long time ago.
What the
but
fuck? What if I have to go to court?
Nope, can't.
Can't. Ain't got my star.
Cool. They're literally putting stars on us.
Yeah.
It's just
Little
it's
golden
just-
stars.
They're putting little gold stars on us.
Yeah.
Damn. Read some history. Yeah, fuck that. But yeah, pretty sure we all have to have them by October.
Did you ever see that that movie, that Office Space?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's just this movie about these guys that get fed up like working in his office or whatever, and he's like, there's this waitress on there that he's interested in, and like she works at this restaurant, and they make her wear all this different flair. Like she has to put on different pins and shit, and she hates it.
A limit of 15.
Yeah.
You gotta have 15 pieces of flair.
Yeah, and the
That's
main
funny.
guy in it goes, you know, the Nazis had pieces of flair they made the Jews wear. Ethan, if you hadn't seen that movie, you need to go home and
It's
watch
a
it.
comedy.
Oh yeah,
I think I have seen it, but it's been
Yeah.
a while.
It's
Like
got
a
a-
long time.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
But no, back to the chupacabras. I've seen the picture that with the spikes and stuff. Kind of looks like a skinwalker,
Yeah. It's
and those things are also pretty interesting. Probably all the same thing.
Yeah, who knows, man? I mean, I definitely think there's weird things that happen and go on, and people see weird shit. There's too many accounts for me to think that they're all lying about it. And I mean, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they're not lying. It's the same with the Skinwalker Ranch with the big wolf or whatever that comes
Yeah.
out and kills the cattle.
Right.
Whatever. I mean, there's a bunch of
There's,
weird shit out
there's
there.
just so... Dude, I have listened to so many people tell their eyewitness accounts of so many different weird fucking things. Like, sure, I have to assume some of them are lying, but...
And or just didn't really know what they saw. Like,
Sure,
it's
but-
probably explainable.
It could be, you know, some of it could be explained away, some of it could be liars, but it only takes one person that isn't lying and got it right, that they saw something really fucking weird, that to make it like that's real. Then, like, there's
Right.
no...
Did you either of you heard about the giant that they killed in that cave over in like Afghanistan?
early
or
2000s.
something? Yeah,
The
like
No.
killed a giant.
team of Marines or something like
yeah,
that.
like Marines killed a giant.
what is it like?
and like
what
supposedly
dimensions?
the people.
Are we talking about Dikembe Mutombo or what?
No,
like
we're
how-
talking like 10 foot or
we're
something
talking
like
like
that.
the red-haired giants.
12 foot.
These
Is there a
10,
picture of this
10
on the internet?
footers.
I don't know,
There's no
but
picture
they
of it, but there is a story out
the
there.
story, and also the people that lived in the area or whatever would like worship it and like bring it food and stuff. Supposedly,
insane.
I think it's been a while since I read the story, but it is insane.
But there's no like the military said they killed it.
So this team of guys, a couple of them have come out and done like interviews about it, but it got swept under the rug and then just became like a legend, like lore of the war. You know, like people heard about it, like
Yeah.
But people are like, well, that's just bullshit. You know,
Yeah.
that's just one of them stories. You know what I mean? But yeah, so they went in looking for a team that had.
There's a picture. Is that
Yeah,
a
there
real
it is.
action
That's
shot?
yeah,
that-
that's an
well-
action shot.
Well, that is what the story said, that he ran out and speared the first guy, and then they shot the fuck out of it.
I imagine.
And it
Oh, I didn't even know that supposedly someone died.
Yeah, so the guy at the front of the cave, he got fucking speared. Yeah.
Damn.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm gonna have to reread that whole thing.
then they shot it to shit and had like 6 fingers and 6 toes on each hand and foot.
And this is just an eyewitness account these people put out.
I mean, who knows?
But like the town
Complete
or whatever
bullshit,
near
but-
it, like supposedly they
They
knew about it. So pretty interesting.
But yeah, it was like 10, 12 foot, something like that. Straight human. This wasn't like a Bigfoot thing. Like this was
Yeah.
just looked like a
I'm
man.
sure he had a big foot.
Probably.
Yeah, out there in freaking spear in a cave, he could have been
It's
dominating
wild.
the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. Just need to bring him out.
Yeah.
The NFL, I would be in the NBA, but that's just me.
But there are stories of red-haired giants all over North America. Like
Red hair. Why they got red hair?
they were red hair. I don't know. That's just what all the Indian tribes talk about. And there's a place, I think it's called like Lovelock Cave or something like that, where the one tribe of Indians claim that they burned all of them and that they forced them into this cave, closed off the entrances, and then burned it and smoked them out and burned them out because they were cannibals like the giants were. So they were coming in and killing them and eating them and taking their women and stuff.
When was this?
This was way back. I don't know when.
Before we colonized?
I think so. But
So the white men really are the ultimate evil.
that's right. It's the red-haired
It's the-
giants.
The giants.
Bigger white men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, I get to be a fucking victim.
I mean,
Boston really gets to be a victim.
All right.
That's right.
He's always been a victim.
But yeah, there are all sorts of accounts, and there are pictures that look old, that could be real, could be fake. I don't know, of like big giant fucking skeletons and stuff that.
Well, I mean,
they say that
dinosaur skeletons. Like, we all know dinosaurs
aren't
real.
real.
There was definitely not what they depict for sure, but there's definitely some animals that we'd be like, holy shit. Like, have you ever looked at a crocodile?
Have I looked at one? Yeah.
Now imagine it like really big. It'd be fucking cool. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't.
I doubt they were purple and all the shit that they, you know, because they've never found 100% of a.
That's why people say they're not
dinosaur.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they found huge bones.
I don't understand how they know, like, by the bones, like if they had feathers or whatever.
Right, that's the thing.
Like, how do they know they were?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the representations of what they build out for the museums is completely.
I guess it's
false.
the face, like the beaks. Is that a bone? A beak?
Well, they're saying all dinosaurs, like chickens, are the closest relative to like all your dinosaurs.
Really?
So it's probably more likely that most of them did have feathers.
Dragons. What about dragons?
Don't just fucking say something. About goblins. Anybody know anything about goblins?
The dragon, like, maybe that's what those are. Because I mean, you look at every culture and they depict dragons. So I mean, maybe those are just dragon bones. Those big bones.
This guy was I've listened to more of his stuff. He's more or less a crackpot anyway. But like I'm assuming this is this is true. You just need to say that from now on. Anytime there's an awkward silence, it's dragons. But no, this like Christian apologist guy was talking about how Africa, there's like thousands of square miles in Africa that men can't get to, and there have been stories from the natives of like dinosaurs coming out of there.
Yeah.
Because
this is even now.
Yes,
people can't
like
get there?
recently. I mean, this guy was listening to him talk to in like the early 2000s. But yes, it's too much. I mean, I guess maybe they could get there, but it's so just
a trek.
Yeah, so grown up and so.
Yeah, like there are tribes or something that are in some of these areas, right? They're just
probably
like,
yeah.
Civilization hasn't. It's hard to get to them, get to the areas wherever. There was a guy on the Rogan podcast. I can't remember his name. It was an Asian dude who worked for Vice. And he was talking about that. He went looking for that dinosaur. Because it was in the National Geographic or something like that.
Yeah.
A guy talking about it, and he's like, I'm going to go find it. And he went and had some pretty crazy stories about going to look for it.
He probably found a tribe and smoked some ayahuasca.
He didn't find the dragon, or the dinosaur or whatever that supposedly was out there. But he had it was just a crazy experience. Like that whole thing, like being just some Asian dude in the Congo, like trying to...
looking for dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're not equipped for the climate, sir. It's funny. Listen, part of that sounds fun. I bet that would be the most miserable thing.
Oh yeah,
being out in the woods for more than an hour. Yeah,
mosquitoes and shit.
Yeah, fuck mosquitoes.
Do you mean just like my woods or like Africa?
Any woods?
Yeah. We ran in from the porch as soon as we saw the first mosquito.
I had seen a few of them, and they were biting me.
Yeah, I was done with the outside as soon as I got here.
All right, tell us about Australia.
All right, so you haven't heard this?
No.
I don't know if it was in the 60s, 70s, whenever it was. You know, I don't ever come with much information.
We don't ever know what we're talking about.
We just hear things and
this guy was on
them
Rogan.
poorly.
I don't know what the documentary is called either, but there's a documentary and it involves it. So at whatever year it was, a spaceship landed at a school in Australia, and there was like 300 kids that saw this thing, and like the headmistress of the school saw it and everything, and supposedly they came out and like walked up close to the kids, and they were like kid size, like tiny, gray, big eyes.
What kind of fucking mistress didn't pull the kids into the school?
Right.
Oh yeah, go play with them. Sure, it's fine.
Are you kidding me? What would you do if a spaceship landed right now and walked into this house?
I would go over there. I wouldn't say, Judah, go check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. No, but anyways, so the guy went and like interviewed the kids 20, 30 years later, and they all told the same story that they did back in whenever it happened. But the kids said, the adults that grew up, they said that supposedly, like, a lot of them had telepathic, like, they were talking to him telepathically.
Yeah.
And they were warning them about technology. Like, that's what they had a sense about, like, technology, that they were talking to them in their brain.
Yeah.
I just thought it was pretty fucking wild. But the dude that was talking about it, he said that when he was building a documentary for like 10 years, and
Yeah.
he got told about it by a big director, and he never looked into it because he's like, how, if that's true, then everyone in the world would know about it. And so he didn't pay attention to it. And then a year later or something, somebody mentioned it again, and he looked into it, and he was like, this is the most insane landing ever. I mean, like,
Yeah.
account. But I don't know, it was pretty wild. You need to listen to the guy talk about it.
Yeah.
That was very weird.
You know, it's funny, like, we don't hear about that stuff when it happens, and you're like, you'd have heard about it, is like what you think.
Right.
Like that guy did. But, I mean, if someone goes and shoots up a school and they're not white, you don't hear about it.
Right.
Like, I heard about something today that just was like a passing thing about some freaking dude that... did you guys know in the past, like, 48 hours, some dude rammed a thing at the Capitol and stabbed a cop? He ran like a barrier and stabbed a cop.
Yeah, killed him.
Okay, you had heard about that. I didn't hear about that. It's because the guy's black, and they weren't gonna publicize it. They wanted it, and he was they said he was a black nationalist. He was like really like black people are superior.
He had a Trump hat on.
No.
Oh.
But like he, yeah.
See, that's crazy. Like, yeah,
But you don't hear about that. That would be an endless news cycle if it was a white guy.
Yeah, it's simple. But
yeah,
back then when they didn't publicize alien shit, they still don't. But no, I just thought that was insane.
Thing. Yeah, they're only going to tell you what you want to hear, which we know that. But so much shit happens on a daily basis that you'll never know about.
What about
it's just not? It doesn't fit the narrative at the moment. You know.
What about the 2 shootings that happened in the last week or so? I texted you guys about them and no one replied. Like,
what'd you say?
Guy killed like 8 people in a grocery store or something.
Was that the prostitute one?
Like a mass shooting. No, and then there was the ones in the Asian.
Except they weren't all Asian.
Probably not.
They weren't. They, in fact, like that's where all this. That's what we were watching. Pull up Amazon the other day, and it was like Amazon stands with our Asian marginalized community or whatever. And he's like, "What the fuck happened that now they're putting Asian stuff on here?"
Yeah.
And it was that. But the dude, like, if you looked into it, because at first they were like, "Oh, this is clearly a white guy, and this was Asian hate and all this stuff," and then it came out that like he killed 8 people. Only 6 were Asian, the other 2 were white. And he did it. He wrote down, or no, he's not dead. They interviewed him. Yeah, he said, he was like, it had nothing to do with him being Asian. I'm a sex addict. These were massage parlors that also were prostitute rings.
Right.
And he saw them as temptation, so he just went in there and started killing prostitutes. But now we've got Amazon telling us there's this Asian hate epidemic, which I've also noticed over the past couple. They've like had some videos of some black people beating some Asian people in like cities like New York and stuff. I don't know how that
correlates.
Yeah, I don't know when that bumps up against the other narrative.
Right.
Yeah. Who should I feel the most sorry for? Who should I feel the most guilty about? Is really what I want to know.
But
when the minorities turn on each other,
yeah,
who do you go for?
I didn't think that happened.
No, but back to that whole shooting thing. After that, I was looking into it, and Biden's like working hard on getting the guns right now. Also creepy.
I don't think
that stuff doesn't scare me. The whole like they're not going to get them.
I don't think anybody will turn them in. Like
Nobody's going to turn them in.
I think it's as far as it can go with people obeying it. Like you can't have an automatic weapon. You can't what Trump did that thing where they banned bump stocks. I bet nobody turned that shit in.
Right.
Like, and I bet even if they keep doing this stuff, it's not going to be like nobody's going to go, oh, okay, well, I've got 30-round magazines here, Biden, have them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one's doing that, and they're not going to come get them. They don't have enough people to come get them.
Well,
it's not doable. Plus, especially down here, like the cops aren't going to enforce it. They're not going to come to your house and try to take your guns. They're just not going to do it. They don't want the fight. They don't believe that. They don't believe in that. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not a thing.
Yeah, it won't happen here because they literally didn't they just make it to where you don't have to have a carry permit?
Yeah.
Which is that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
it is. It's great. It should have always been the case. Like that's what pisses me off when I was mentioning it the other day is like I'm sick of getting excited about tyrants giving me back the freedom that I already fucking had.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
I hear you. We can go to the store again, guys.
Yeah.
How exciting is that?
Oh, it's great. Things are opening back up. Thanks, Governor.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like
It is great though. I'm not gonna lie.
it is, but it's like nothing ever had to change.
No, supposedly the cases have went down tremendously in Texas.
They're gonna the narrative now is going to be yes, we're opening back up because vaccines are here.
Right. Hold on. This is what a woman said. It was
Did you see it was on CNN?
Yeah. It's like,
She was talking
we
to
don't
Como.
have.
Yeah.
If we open them up now, we don't have a carrot to dangle in their face to get an incentive for
Go
vaccines.
to hell.
Literally.
You. There's no way she meant to say that. That was a Freudian slip, for sure.
She elaborated on the fucking
She
wild.
did,
Like, it was like a 2-minute clip.
fuck,
She just
who's
shit rolling out of her mouth.
Who's buying that without being like, you guys have a narrative you're pushing, and then and you want it to be a certain way. Like we're opening back up because people are taking their vaccine. We can't have them opening back up beforehand because then they have the same freedoms that people that didn't take the vaccine.
People that are
like
that dumb, though. I mean, if you are wearing a mask, now I understand some people wear masks because they have to for work. I got it. But, like, if you think you're doing something by wearing a mask after they told you don't wear a mask, it doesn't help, and then they said, just kidding, it does help, we were fucking
3.
with you, and then now, wear
Yeah.
3 of them and a face shield and a fucking fishbowl on your head. Like, if you're listening to that, you're an idiot
yeah.
I wear mine in the car.
by yourself.
Yes.
Those people fucking
It's called
amaze me.
respect.
It's called respect.
God bless. Bunch of fucking idiots on this podcast.
We're all trying to kill grandma, right?
Yeah.
God, dude, it's so insane.
Yeah, she asked me when I gave her a hug, did you get your vaccine?
Did she really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. I said no.
She's not gonna ask me that. I think she already knows where I stand.
Told her I have the antibodies. I have no clue if I have the antibodies.
So, you don't have to tell us any stories. What beach did you go to? Was it Florida or
I went to Texas, came back, and then went to Orange Beach.
was it normal down there? Like
Yeah. Everything. Bars were open until 3. Which
No
was
mask.
sweet.
Just living the dream.
There was one store that asked me to put a mask on.
What'd you tell him?
All right. Yeah, no, I was with my dad, so I was like, fuck it. But no, Texas was completely open back up. They opened up like while we were down there, and they weren't closed until 4. The bars and stuff, it was completely packed,
and like
full
it
capacity.
was fine. You can be in there.
And since then, cases went down like 32% or something.
Yeah.
It's all
Since then.
fabricated.
Yeah, I mean,
Just whatever they want you to hear.
Well,
Tomorrow it could
everybody's
be
not.
up
Well, I think it's
100%.
getting to the point where everybody's tired of it because the case is all bullshit anyway. So nobody's like, people aren't as scared anymore. So they're not going every time they cough, going, "I need to get tested."
Yeah.
right. And also, once they are giving us our freedoms back, I don't think that people are going to fall for the shit again. People are fed up. I mean,
Maybe,
as soon
I
as they
hope,
start
right?
opening it back up, people aren't going to go hide in their house again because they've had it for a year and said, "Oh, no one I know's died from it."
Yeah, but as soon as it doesn't, like the next thing won't be COVID. It'll be something else, and they'll
Yeah, it's the new strain.
bend
that's-
over and take it in
it's
the
new
ass the way
strain.
they did on this one. Fuck them all. They're all brainless pieces of shit.
I don't understand how they plan to keep shit going. Like, I mean, you watch any sporting event and it's empty. Like, I don't understand how they can
Right.
sustain that loss of revenue.
This
They
is
won't
my
be
theory.
able to, for
This is
very
my
long.
theory. I think that Bitcoin was created by the government.
Maybe. I
They're
don't disagree.
literally just destroying the U.S. dollar right now, and all the hype around Bitcoin. Get in Bitcoin. All the banks are doing it. They're just pushing us towards a one world currency, and that was the plan from the get.
Maybe. There's a lot of currencies, but I do think it could have been something.
Well, a lot of
because Bitcoin, like, everybody acts like it's this, this anonymous thing, and it is literally opposite of that. It is everything is on that blockchain, and you might not know what my wallet is, but you can see everything that my wallet's done, where I've sent money. That is not conducive to any kind of privacy or freedom.
right.
Bitcoin is not.
Well, no one's ever going to know your wallet.
I don't know, man. Imagine you were only transacting in Bitcoin because that's what everybody's doing.
Right.
Like, you can know a lot just by my wallet.
I guess. Also, my other theory is that aliens created Bitcoin. It's like alien
I
tech.
think there's Satoshi.
Satoshi didn't do it. I think it was aliens, if it's not the government.
What if it was an alien?
Do you know
named
the
Satoshi?
last coin will not be mined until 2147?
Yeah.
And there's only 3 million left?
Yeah, it's the whole halving thing.
No. It's how hard it is to mine one. It gets exponentially harder every coin,
The
right?
rewards go down. It does get harder, but not because it gets harder as more people mine it.
Like a
because there's more
supercomputer couldn't mine out the rest of Bitcoin.
I don't know, because they're only released every block. Like, so it's not when you mine a block, whatever miner wins that, they get that Bitcoin reward.
Right.
So it might be a pool of people. So it may be me and 10 other people, and I get a tenth of the Bitcoin.
Right.
But that miner that won that gets the whole thing. And so it's not that it's harder. It only gets harder when more people mine, and then there's more competition for that block to get solved.
No. The coding literally gets harder and harder.
I don't think that's right.
Then why? How come I can't mine a Bitcoin off of a fucking 2002 laptop?
You can. You just won't
can't.
ever get one because what's happening, and I watched this because I
You have
fucked
to have
around with
more
miners
computing.
a little bit. That's right. But
Right.
but it isn't.
But it's not
that the
because
coding
the
is
code
getting
is
better.
because
It's
there's
because
more competition trying to mine.
yes,
It's
like,
aliens.
So I had
Maybe I'm wrong.
ant miner at one point, and like when we bought them, we got fucked because like 6 months later they came out with the next model of that.
Right.
So mine was inefficient. It wasn't that Bitcoin's code got harder. It was that my stupid shit thing I had was not as good as what everybody else was buying, and they were running it
Why do you need more computing power if it doesn't get
to
harder
solve it
mine?
faster.
Oh, it's faster.
Yes, yeah, because when the block's finished, there's a very rudimentary understanding of it because I don't know everything about it either. But when the block's finished, everybody is trying to mine that to solve this backwards math problem. I don't even know what that means, but that's how they describe it. And then whoever does it gets the thing.
reward.
And it isn't that it gets harder; it's just that the computing power gets higher. So
Okay.
yeah,
I think you're wrong, but all right.
I might be, but I don't think I am. I don't think that it gets harder. I think that it's
Well, then why will it take another 140 years?
because that's how they've scheduled it to come out. It only solves a block every so often.
Interesting. Maybe I'm
And
wrong.
that has something to do with, like I was talking about earlier, Bitcoin Cash is more efficient than Bitcoin. It's because the people that are working on Bitcoin now don't want to make the block size bigger. They want to keep them small, thus keeping the fees up. They want it to be a store of value like a digital gold, but that's not, if you read the white paper, that's not what Satoshi or the aliens, whoever put it out, did not want it to be that.
Satoshi sounds like an alien.
He might be. He could.
Basically, he wanted it to be what Bitcoin Cash is.
Yes, and that's why they made Bitcoin
That's
Cash.
why it forked.
Yes, they forked it to make something that was inexpensive, easy to use, fast, so that way everybody around the world in these third world countries has access to a legitimate currency as opposed to...
Do you think that once... Because right now it seems like a lot of crypto is more just like an investment thing, right? People are like, oh, we invest in this, it could go up 1,000%, right? It's not necessarily being used... It is being used in day-to-day, but not
yet.
Not yet. Do you think when it gets to the point where people are using this in day-to-day transactions for actual
I just don't
products?
think it won't be Bitcoin because Bitcoin, they don't want it to be, the people that are working on it.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think Bitcoin Cash and other...
I don't know
or
if it's
even
going to be
things
them.
like Nano or whatever, are they going to end up being... Are they going to spike in the future because they're going to be actually used? Because it's going to be more efficient to use those than it will be to send Bitcoin to someone?
That's the whole point of that Ghost by McAfee, is that they want to create a private coin, and on the top of it, a private stable coin. A lot of the reason that they're not... People don't transact, like we were talking about DAI. You can sell your coins for DAI, and that's pegged to the U.S. dollar, which they want that because if you're just transacting, you don't want to sell something
and then
lose money.
Yeah,
Right.
you go buy, fill up 2 tanks of gas down at the gas station, spend $120 doing it, and 3 hours later, the clerk or the gas station only has $60 because it's tanked or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want that volatility. They need something they can transact in that is pegged to something that isn't so volatile.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's the idea. They'll build that stuff on top of, and then if it could be a private coin too, that's better. So
Right.
they won't, like we were talking about before, and I don't understand how this works, but, they Monero, Ghost, Zcash, those are all private coins that they somehow mask the address or tumble it in something, and you don't know where it's coming from. And yeah,
It's phenomenal.
yeah,
If governments around the world don't crush these things, they will be the future.
yeah. I mean, it's scary. I don't know.
How could they though?
How could they what? Crush it?
Yeah.
The only way that I can think that they
Make
could
it
do
illegal to have them? Make it illegal to use them in any
I
way?
think people will still use it if it's like that.
If it's private, how the fuck
Yeah,
are they
yeah.
going to track you anyways?
The only way I could think is like governments have access to trillions of dollars, so you could easily buy the whole supply of something and just fuck it
Yeah.
if you wanted to. But they can't really, depending on how the coin's set up, there's so many different ones, they can't really just,
Get them all.
that's the cool, the only thing that's going to stop Bitcoin and any proof of work coin is what they call 51% attack. So if you got 51% of the hash power,
Right.
you can change the ledger. But that's not going to happen because there's miners all over, like we were talking about. There's, America, China, it would be so hard for them to get that. I guess they could, but that would be much more expensive, I think, than buying the Bitcoin and tanking it. But I don't know.
Why don't you mine?
It's very expensive, and the government will come in here. Well, I've looked into it. In this area, our electricity costs are too high.
The government would interrupt.
They'll think I'm growing weed because it pulls so much power.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll definitely check you out.
Yeah.
What is it not worth it?
Man, I don't. It probably still is worth it to mine, but if you don't, it's way more worth it in other parts of the country where energy's less expensive.
Right.
Here is one of the worst parts. Yeah.
And I assume you have to upgrade your graphics cards. And stuff
Oh,
like
you have
that
to. Yeah.
regularly.
The thing that you get now, it's just you buy these miners that they make specifically for that
I gotcha.
thing. But I mean, you could get a lot of coins are proof of stake. So proof of stake, you just keep your coins in a wallet, keep it staking, and you're earning more coins doing that.
Right.
So
So that's what proof of work is, where you have to. It's like on a.
you're putting
okay.
energy into
Right.
it. Yeah, it's like it said, proof of work. You're working and you're getting paid for that. Proof of stake, you're just staking it, and I think somehow it keeps when you stake these, they build a node into it that keeps it. I really don't know that much about this stuff, but I know that's proof of stake is a different thing where you just get it for
You just hold it. Yeah.
Ghost, Poltergeist, the Ethereum will be that when they
Cardano.
is Cardano proof of stake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ethereum.
Cool.
Yeah. What do you have, Dan?
By Ghoul.
Yeah, I don't know, Cardano maybe, but that's what. See, Ethereum was a proof of work. They're moving it to proof of stake, proof of work, because everything's built on Ethereum now. That's why you have to pay fucking $40 to send 10 coins somewhere.
Right.
But yeah, at the miners, the reason it's taking them so long is the miners have fought them on it because obviously they don't want it to go to that because they're making money mining the thing. So
Interesting. Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Dragons.
Right. Dragons.
listen, that Gimli guy is interesting. I can't believe he doesn't even if you don't believe any, he just
Dude,
that's a quality video.
It's a quality video.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
What's his name?
Bob Gimlin.
Gimlin.
Yeah.
What else does he do?
Most of his videos are about Bigfoot, to be honest.
He does have, because I was looking for another, because I watched the goblin alien video thing.
Yeah.
And it was that one. I tried to find other ones on aliens, and most of it is Bigfoot.
Most of it's Bigfoot. Watch the Lines of Savo.
Yeah.
That's a really
That's
really
all
good
that
story. It's not, it's just, this is a true story, and he does a lot of research on it and really puts it into a great. He's just really good at putting a video together, and he does his fucking research. Like, that's why I like, if you watch his Bigfoot stuff like that, his videos are what made me start going, well, this is possible.
Yeah.
Because it's just so, I don't know, he brings forth so much evidence to present, you know, I don't know, a case for it, really.
Yeah. I mean, he's essentially just telling a story, and I'm guessing he's getting all this facts from places, but it's still very...
It's very well put together. He's very intelligent. You can gather that from just the way he puts his shit together.
You ever seen the Nazca lines?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Nazca
interesting.
lines? Yeah.
Just like big, huge lines in the desert, I guess, but they're like make shapes and stuff.
There's
and
also like all
spiders
sorts
and
all sorts of like pictures.
yeah, they're like pictures,
different
but they're
animals.
fucking huge.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't see them from the ground.
Oh, you're saying lines?
lines? Nazca lines.
Huh.
The only way you can really see them is
Aerial.
from the air. Yeah.
Like here's like a monkey right here.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's just in the desert.
Yeah, these are like really, really old. Aren't
This
they
is in
mounds?
South America. They've been there for forever. Nobody knows really how long they've been there, but thousands of years. And who made them? Why
Here's
did
a
they
spider.
make them?
That's crazy.
How
Maybe
did they
mushrooms
make
did it. You know, they recreate cities and stuff if you...
mushrooms?
Yeah. Like their spore network, they somehow show them, I don't know, I have no idea how they did it. That I heard this from the Joe
Paul
Rogan?
Stamets?
Yeah. He was talking about like if you somehow get that data to the mushrooms, like they'll recreate city streets and shit.
That is insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Mycelium is a crazy fucking organism, dude. Like,
Have you ever heard like they like put something on it and you can hear the sounds of a mushroom and shit? I'm gonna have to pull it up later because it's fucking insane. They make some they sound like mushrooms. They sound like what I would think they would sound like. They do it with like trees too and stuff. And like if you touch them, they'll like make a different noise. Fucking weird.
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that they have figured out recently that these things communicate with each other, like trees and shit.
Yeah. I mean, they're living. You can play music to them, and they'll die depending on what music you play, or plants at least.
Is that real?
Yes.
They did it on Mythbusters.
And it worked?
They
real.
played classical music to certain, like they used the same plant for both, classical music for one, and it grew phenomenally. And then they played like some metal or something to the other one, and it wilted. It didn't do very well.
That's
That's
weird.
why I think that's why St. Clair used to try for a while. He was trying to work out to classical music as opposed to heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. I mean,
So-
music and shit like that has effect on you.
Well, I know. I mean, I figured the effect would be getting you amped.
But I
to
don't
be
mean
able
like
to lift
emotional.
more.
I meant like inside of you, supposedly. They did the same thing. I don't know if we've talked about it on here, but with the rice.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, like speaking to the rice in a good and negative way. And
Yeah.
one rotting and one living.
Yeah.
I want to do that experiment. I've said that I want to do it for probably the last
10
5 or
years.
6 years,
Yeah.
but never have. And I don't know how to. Those videos could be bullshit, but
Yeah.
I doubt it though.
who knows? It has something to do with water. too,
Water
'cause I think
stores-
it's cooked rice, right? Like it's
Yeah,
already-
you keep it in water. It's about the water that, like, supposedly water can be affected, like, emotionally, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
And we're made up of water,
Right.
so that's why they did that test. Like, if I speak,
If it's
shit
real,
to you,
yeah, then that's pretty.
So watch what you're saying to
Intense.
people. Be nice.
Moral of the story.
That's right.
Well, have we run out of cryptids to talk about?
How long have we been doing this, Riley? 50 minutes. It's much better when we have somebody else here.
I'll give you. Really get rolling and rock off of each other. It's great.
What'd you say?
So we rock off of each other? I don't know.
Rock off each other?
Yeah.
No.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Made me feel weird about it.
Not bad.
Dragons.
Are we done?
It
Yeah.
can be.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one.